Chalk. The world is one whole, having form only where it is divided. Some lines are natural, others man-made. Chalk, composed of the dead bodies of sea creatures, is a good tool for setting boundaries. Hello again. We're back. Misfortune has found its way into the rod, or has it always lived there? Some friend of Murky's dislikes me. The bull will be sacrificed at the Raggy Barrow in the evening. When I find a house with dead bodies inside, I will mark the door with a cross. First of all, let's see if we can buy clothing. Got a toolkit and a sewing box. Let's sell the pocket watch for the toolkit. We do need a thread and a thimble. But I don't think we'll have enough room for the sewing box. For now. I don't remember if I left tweezers at home. Unfortunately, it's been a while since I last recorded, and my memories are, as a result, foggy. This house has already been marked with a cross. Not by me. Because I have already done a run through of the rest of today, only to discover that I forgot to hit record. Speaking of which, I should probably check right now if I am. I am recording there. I am recording there. So I know what's coming for today. Exciting things are going to happen today, though.
Yes.
Maria Kaina. You poor, poor house. In a way, you're kinda like teeth. You know how they pull teeth out. Sometimes a dead tooth can be left in place. Other times it needs immediate extraction. Do you think this one needs... How about letting the tenants back in and asking them? I'm not talking to you, Cocoon Man. Don't get mad at me, dear house. But you have to go. It's not the people who need curing, but the town itself. Too much filler. That's the cause of the outbreak. Oh, house, if you're still alive, if you still hear me, I sincerely hope you'll understand. So you're planning to demolish this house? On what grounds? On the grounds that I hate it. Be so kind as to shut your trap. Your coarse voice distracts me. Your hideous smell troubles me. Your smell. Blood, formaldehyde, iron, as expected. Step herbs, surprise, wrath. Oh, would you look at that? This beast is getting angry. As will your father. Get a load of this, dear house. This man must be a complete fool. He thinks I follow anyone's rules. But you can't hear me, can you? You're unwanted. unliving, so I hereby sentence you to emptiness. I'm sorry. Truly your mother's daughter. Maria Kaina also marks houses. Healthy ones. There's a house we remember made a particular sound. Not the sound of hammering wood, but...
There's a peculiar smell outside. What is it?
Did you see who it was? What did you play? That's the thing, it wasn't me. Who was it then? It was Mother's favourite melody. Her favourite. I think she wrote it herself. No one else could have learned it. Because she only played it for me, and no one else. Ever. Not even for Brother. So what? I hear this melody often. I walk down the street and it comes from a window or from a backyard. An attic, a cellar. I chase the sound, trying to locate the source. I always find the piano lid raised. Someone has been there. But there's no one, no matter how hard I call. Mysterious. It's driving me mad! I've walked the whole town back and forth. I've worn 3 pairs of shoes to rags, do you understand? 3! I'm serious! I wander at night hoping to hear her, hoping to find whoever plays her melody. Who could know Mother so well? I won't believe it was her. Well, I've heard the music too, so it honestly weren't you. What if it really was her spirit? Would that mean there is no death after all? But... that's not even the point. I need to know for sure. Any answer would be a gift. It was her music after all. Our music. If it's just some person playing, some person who was close to Mother, how could they do such a thing to me? If I ever hear this melody again, I'll try to figure it out. Sometimes a melody can be heard in ordinary houses that only Victoria Olginskaya and her daughter knew. If I find the mysterious musician, I can tell Kapala about them. Bullet for... marbles, I reckon. This house is so silent you can almost hear it. Nothing like a good egg. Delicious. The chicken has yet to be seen. Good trade. Getting hungry. I found a whole house with unburied corpses. Who are you? An orderly? What were you doing in there? I've done nothing yet, but I'm about to. Leave us be, I beg of you. Don't tell anyone. We'll bury them all later, tonight, at the cemetery. Just don't tell on us. I can't. It needs to be stopped, or else the whole district might get infected. They don't like it, alas. I marked a house with hidden corpses. Now the spread of infection will be curbed. There's one more house that I'd like to show. Odd sounds are coming from this house. Let's look at our status. Not great, so we won't be doing this. How can I help you, Doctor? What are those sounds? What sounds? Upstairs. 2nd floor. It's a cat. I love cats. Can I come up and pet it? This is neighborly business, Doctor. We don't need you here. Get the hint already. Fine, I'll send orderlies here then. Would you rather deal with them? We won't be doing this because it gets us into a fight. But there is no bodies there, just a man. He's not truly sick. Smoked meat. Let's take our gun. Let's load our one bullet. Actually, let's not do our buying just yet. Morphine for items I'd like to use. Those little girls are cutthroats. Peanuts. For matches. Could be good. Let's fill our water back up. We haven't done this yet in this timeline, but that's not a task we completed regardless, so. infection's not great.
What is there to talk about now?
Let's just speed through this dialogue. Because we've already done it. Administer antibiotics. Gonna take an immunity. Because we know that these bodies can explode now. Let's choose a medicine. Let's try the bones. Let's try the nerves again. Definitively bones. What a wasteful patient. Zirk, Yas, Midril, which one? I've got the most of Zirk, so I'll start with that. Unknown. Sorry? What did you say? Yeah, what were you going to tell me? Sure. Alrighty. Okay. Definitively. It's the blood. Rude. Last one. Definitively bone. And there we go. We've done our job. Let's have a quick run out of the zone. We've only got one painkiller left. Lately, I've been checking out Know by Heart, the latest game released by the developers of this game. Oh, morphine, thank you very much. Good-o. Immunity boosters. Don't need that for now. I can probably stay out of an infected district for long enough for immunity to go back up naturally. My opinion on Know by Heart is that it's pretty good. Made me actually sob at one part. I still haven't completely completed it, but I'm just waiting for a couple of, maybe say, patches before the game is finally stable enough for the rest of my experience not to stumble. Because there are a couple of moments where, oh dear. They say the Saburovs nurture the plague, that they harbor a carrier, a girl. What carrier? Hell if I know. That's why we're here. To get him to give her up. But he won't. Keeps lying, saying there's no carrier, trying to talk us down. Soon he's gonna cause people to hunt down women in the street, like on that Thursday. Why would they do that? Are you dense, pal? The plague plays right into Saburov's hands. The Kanes and Dolgimskis have always resented him, but now he wields power. He's pulling out all the stops, promoting order, he says. Some order. Who knows? Maybe you're right. The townsfolk firmly believe the Saburovs are harboring a plague carrier in their house. There are a couple of game-breaking bugs that sort of soft-lock you for now. She's shown her true colours, the false mistress. If our beloved White Swan, Victoria, were here, she'd be out on the street, shielding people from trouble. And Nina, if she were around, none of this would be happening. That's the sort of power she had. But this one just locks herself up at home. A useless mistress. Your Victoria could do nothing about a plague like this. You say Victoria couldn't? You're just faithless. She would. She used to shelter the town under her bright wings. She used to be our white mother. She would let no trouble in. What do you even know? Where did you even come from? You speak of mistresses as if they work miracles. They're just women. You know nothing, you dolt. If you don't know the power of the mistresses, then shut your mouth and show some respect. Have some sense. Give off hate. Blah. Some give off heat. Some give off light. Some give off poison. We sense that she gives off poison. Suppose I should be going. But yeah, I reckon that any game that can make me audibly just completely sob in tears is a pretty good one. Things are going on here. The wisest women in our town would take the title Mistress, a word that calls to mind the tales of ancient sorcery. Do you believe in such a thing? It's not a matter of belief. They're not goddesses. Stepson, you bear the marks of nature's flow upon your skin, but mind how thin the twire runs in your veins. You are more stone than earth. Like ships must catch the wind and sails, our town relies on nature's flow. Nature is everywhere. Everything lives by her flows. None know how many winding paths there are. None know what forces run their courses. There are no words for what they hold. To see them calls for gifted senses, gifted minds. And should one hear the call of such a gift, what feats, what brave new world they'd find with it, like being the very first to hoist sail. We lost that gift when we learned to make tools. Victoria Olgimskaya and Nina Kaina, one 5'6", one 6'1". Mortals, but seen as giants, for they could feel the powers move across the firmament. And some merely know the flows, some feel them now and then. A mistress tastes those waves, might drink of them, and when the stars align, might ride them. The people felt such women knew the workings of the world itself. And that's it? How is that not enough? The mistresses kept their hands quite clean of rough and tawdry magics. Victoria knew not a spell that brought the dead to life. But Nina did inspire fear. Along her steps doors shut, and children hid. But those two women gave the town its life. None know the hows or whys of such a power. Yes, I knew a man like that. Nobody knew how, but his presence would severely change the pressure every time. Reflections writhe in the rod's corners, more than in other houses. Something I did not describe is that I have received another punishment for death, and the session that was lost. I lost the use of my hands. I cannot embrace another person. Apologies that you couldn't see that scene. It's a bit of a shame, but oh well. Two mistresses there were, and all felt that to be correct. For one was night, and one was day. One was heat, and one was cold. One was storm, and one was calm. Contrast reigned. Nina held court over schism and unease. Victoria's domain was peace and nourishment. The bright and the fearsome, the dark and the warm, taste and laughter. The Kains had Nina, the Olgimskis had Victoria. When Saburov returned with his young bride, my Katerina, there was no place for her in such a scheme. But her hairs would raise, her skin would sense it, and once Nina did perish, Katerina took her place and seized a name for herself. Nina. The Wicked. Nina did not only drive men to fear. Did only drive men to fear. But Katerina, naive as she was, mistook the nuance of Nina's role for a romantic darkness, and that in turn would drive her down the road to frightful things. And nobody really noticed. Victoria died, and Katerina replaced both mistresses. 2 roles to play, she grew into neither. But patient folk would wait for her to find her gift, and some may still await her day. She should have stayed out of those games. Wild Nina begat Maria, the talented. Warm Victoria begat Capella, the gifted. My mistress has no one. She'd take any child to raise as her kin, gift or no gift. Is she afraid? Is she in pain? Is she ashamed? She sits in darkness, weaving blackest yarn from heaviest thoughts. She'd rather knit baby socks. Instead, she drapes black folds around her throat and chokes. Don't whine, Reflection. At night we hear her talk to herself, mad. I failed to give life to the town, talentless. I failed to nourish town or child, giftless. I failed to guard against plague, useless. I am barren. A grown woman still playing at being a sorceress. But have you heard? Such wondrous news! We wait in awe for our new daughter, true and talented. And such a talent, sir! A blessed gift! And now we are not but 2, but 3, and 1 will be much more mighty than 2 be. She's pregnant? The daughter's adopted, and near grown up. It is for the best. We wait too long, and now an orphan child will have a home at last. Can I see her? She walks the streets and does her chores, bound to this plague somehow. She has the gift, so she must stay to stop the plague. Salvation can and must come from the house of Saburov. I've met that girl. She does indeed carry a long list of chores.
I was broken upon the wheel of fortune in a dream.
Isidore's son. Artemy, is that right? Or is it Ersher? No, Ersher was my older brother. He died young. I'm Artemy. Have you come to present yourself to the mistress? It's taken long enough. I don't believe this is a courtesy visit. That means you have a request. Speak. That street rat Clara said you were in need of help. Ha! Now this is funny. So you're all right. I'm fine. Healthy and strong enough. but my husband could benefit from your help. He requires your counsel, but is too proud to ask. Alexander would rather bear all on his shoulders than distract you from your work. Could you speak to him? I'll speak to him. Is he at the town hall? Yes, at the town hall, or maybe in his half of the house. I'm not certain. I haven't seen him in a while. Yes, quite a while. Almost a day. Really? That's strange. Seems like the dark cloud hangs over Alexander today. Not
Don't
company.
shout. I value whispers. Our lost friends.
With every breath, your soul drains slowly away. So just keep your mouth shut and don't let it slip out.
Ah, Buruk. If you've grown weary of your medical duties and seek to join the town guard, you will leave disappointed. Your expertise would be wasted on the streets. Not to mention we're almost out of leather caps. Good to see you've kept your sense of humor. So, what brings you here today? The hunt for the urchin that carries the plague? If so, don't bother. My porch is already packed with volunteers. Pockets full of matches and kindling leave no room for common sense. What urchin? They showed up this morning claiming to have found the carrier, a homeless little girl, clearly infected but nonetheless alive and well. I know perfectly well what urchin they mean. Be assured she has nothing to do with us. Little? Clearly not your ward, if that's who you're talking about. Exactly. They're agitating over nonsense. Someone has to calm them down. Little urchin. Wait, that's not Clara, that's another girl. What? Which girl? I mean, maybe just a thought. You're a doctor. They'll trust you more than me. Tell them they're mistaken. Better yet, if they capture her, they can't hurt her. Without her, we're doomed. Isn't that right? Dankovsky told me that about his vaccine project. Well, I'll remind them of the Shabnak hunt and tell them how that went. Mob justice doesn't solve anything, but who is this orphan carrier girl they're after? I have a bad feeling. Well, hello? Our town has always had 3 ruling houses. Kain, Olgimsky, Saburov. Each one would reign o'er their own domain. The Kains were our head, the Olgimskys our belly. But pray, Burak, tell me what the Saburovs held. They were the hands. The Kains were weavers of laws and of dreams. The Olgimskys were masters of money and men. To Saburov remained an executive power. Their task was to keep the streets in order, in a town where there was almost no crime. But of course, I guess the genocide that the Olgimskys were perpetrating against the kin doesn't count as a crime. Nor does the Kains, who are proud to call themselves criminals. 'Tis funny, you see. When the houses agreed to manage the town, Saburov was named the triumvirate's head. I know not what that meant, nor what it entailed. Well, it entails exactly what is happening now. They could seize control in face of a mortal crisis. Saburov still believes that his mission is clear. Keep order. He may not look the part, but he is not a fool. He knows duty entails the pursuit of order through fear, and that violent means stain the soul of a duty-bound man. and they stain the hands too. When denied respect, a man is not wounded. Burak? Not even for evil he does, but for failing to do much at all. Even more when you had not a chance to do any deed of note. There are only so many of those going round. Can't say. People seem to respect me. I speak not of you, Burak. I speak of my master. His pride, his soul has been wounded by lack of respect. He needs his authority now more than ever. The Kanes, the Olgimskis, never trusted our house. Perhaps this distrust never turned to contempt. But distrust it was, dear sir. What are you getting at, Reflection? Nothing. I've said my piece. You're a healer. One thinks you might care to learn more about pain. You think correctly. If a person comes to think that you wounded their heart with deceit, does that mean that you truly are guilty of it? More so in regards to their feelings, their hopes, and their fears? Our options, aside from questioning further, are: yes, you betrayed that person's expectations. No, not unless you did intend to deceive them. And first we must find the truth, then the falsehood, then learn to pick them apart. Only after that we answer such a question. I care not for either three of these answers. I do believe that, yes, you are guilty, but not because of any betrayal. You're guilty because you are, essentially, you are who you are viewed through the lens of so many others. You're beholden to everyone else, regardless of whether or not you're guilty of it. So what does this have to do with Alexander Saburov? Are you not his reflection? What indeed? I just asked you a question. Yes, I suppose. No, this is a trick question and I shall not answer. Or, I forgot what the question was. Probably means it was a threatening sort of question. I will answer yes. Well, healer, will you tell us about the carrier? Is she in there with him? Our three options: feigned ignorance, there is reasonable but unfounded claims, and then there is the passionate option, the one that, say, Dankovsky would argue for. I'll toe the party line on that for now. And what does that mean? We can make a cure from that person's blood, and we need the carrier alive for that. They also say she's not alone. Not everyone dies from the sickness. Do you get what that means? According to my data, everyone dies. No one survived. If there are people who get sick but do not die, the plague must come from them. And what do you know about connections? That's not how any of this works, you fool. I know slightly more about the plague now. I need to keep searching. Even silly rumors may hold a grain of truth. I assuaged the crowd, but the cause of their anger still haunts me. Is it true that not all victims of the sand pest die?
The plague bringer is here, walking around.
Did you bring me anything yummy? Hey, kiddo, are you by any chance sick? Let me take a look. Why? There's a rumor circulating around that the carrier of the pest is an orphan girl. Show me your tongue. I'm not sick. Nope. Not me. Never am. I don't even get colds. Not even when I'm soaked and barefoot. True, no signs of the disease. Well, I'm not scared of this plague at all. Everyone's dying from it, Murky. Not everyone dies from it. Only people who are scared, and I'm not scared at all. Who told you that? My new friend. Do you mean Clara? Is she your new friend? No, it's not Clara at all. It's my special friend. She's always with me. Oh, okay, I see. I had imaginary friends too. Let's see if they've got any clothes here. I need better protection from any pest. The repellent cloak. Let's accept. We'll be able to keep this around for a while, and then, once its durability's gone all the way down, we can upgrade our inventory. We need to go to Stamerton's. Candle stub. Empty bottle. Whoop. Let's start by relieving some pain. Let's start with the blood. It's blood or bone. Definitively, it's the bones. Our next stop, the grocery. We're getting hungry, mate. As I've played through this section, I know that later on we'll be getting let's just say some stuff to satisfy our hunger a bit better later on. Our share of the children. Hey uncle, let's play fire starters. Take a pebble. If you get a red one, you're sick. Black and you're a fire starter. We use sticks for bottles. Get hit and you're dead. If you're sick and touch a fire starter, they get infected too. Hey, not fair, you've only got red pebbles there. Everyone wants to play as a fire starter. It's boring to be sick. Folks say the fire starters are sick too. The plague doesn't kill them, it whispers to them, tells them to burn folks so they suffer less. It's kind. The plague doesn't know kindness.